Welcome back. Before we get into the shark conversation, let's talk about State House matters. Now, the government has defended its expenditure in renovating State House Nairobi and other state lodges. State House Controller Katole Metito maintained that the ongoing facelift was being funded and undertaken by the National Intelligence Service and the Department of Defense. Kato, who appeared before the National Assembly Administration and Internal Security Committee, asked for additional 3 billion shillings for State House to finalize pending projects, including renovations. Emmanuel To has more.
The presentation by State House before the National Assembly, Administration and Internal Security Committee Monday saw the House on the Hill defend its allocations, while also giving a breakdown of how much had been spent in the current financial year. State House Comptroller Katole Metito revealing that the refurbishments at State House Nairobi had been taken over by security agencies.
Funding is not through this 1017. Some is through NIS, some is through defense. They really took it to make it a security area.
The State House Comptroller explaining why the renovations had to happen.
Do you think it's really practically realistic that we can able to achieve the 100% completion under the specified time frame?
The Honorable Ambassador Segei mentioned the State House Mombasa. If you visit, to some extent it was even condemned by other government agencies that it is not really habitable.
Metito defending the renovations while dismissing concerns that the building had lost its historical face amid the massive works around it.
The building is not a flat roof. Actually, the roof itself, the way it was, it's still there. Because as much as we say, let us not spend public resources, we should also not really, lose the face of a country that says is a power nation in the region.
We know that Kenyans are suffering now and people are being asked to tighten their belts. The first belt that must be tightened is State House. And I think we are spending too much money beautifying State House, which can wait until times are better.
Documents sent to the committee also showing that State House Nairobi has so far spent 775 million shillings out of the estimated project cost of 1.77 billion shillings, with the works currently at 44% of completion, and is getting a proposed allocation of 180 million shillings in the next financial year. In the proposed figures contained in the budget policy statement for the year 2025, State House has been allocated 7.5 billion shillings, comprising recurrent expenditure of 6.8 billion shillings and development expenditure of 715 million shillings. State House has listed several projects that are still underway, which could cost up to 11.5 billion shillings by completion. They include refurbishments of State House Mombasa and Nakuru, state lodges in Eldoret, Sagana, Kisumu, Kakamega, Kisii and Mtito Andei. The 118-year-old building has undergone major changes. The previously heaped roof of terracotta tiles is no longer visible, with an enhancement of vertical wall that runs across the roof line. The chimneys, which were visible in the old look building had 2 drive-through entrance porches. The 2 porches have now been replaced with a single one. For the renovations that began about 10 years ago, there's still more to go, even as State House now calls for more allocations from the National Assembly to complete the projects before June 2027. These now raising questions as to the government's priorities amidst calls for austerity. Emmanuel To, Citizen TV, Parliament Buildings, Nairobi.